Daniel Cormier and Ariel Helwani and Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler.
Well, he has the perfect spot because if he wins and wins impressively, and then the next man up is Conor fighting, and let's say, just for the sake of this story, Conor wins, all the fans that are watching, because we know the numbers are going to be great, are going to be like, if he gets on the mic and says, hey, Conor McGregor, I want you, he aligns himself perfectly. Like that co-main spot is prime real estate. And
it's not even the co-main. It's like there are no, hey, I know this is my guy now is one of the biggest stars in the world, Khabib. But do you remember UFC 205?
Yeah.
I want to fight your chicken. Khabib fought, was he even on the main card at the time or was he the prelim?
Prelim, Michael Johnson.
Right, Michael Johnson. Khabib's on the prelims. I want to fight your chicken. And then all of a sudden they start to mention Khabib and Conor in the same breath, right? Khabib isn't the champ yet. He's a young guy on his way up. And then it just builds. And then the UFC can call back to that, right? The Irish people going crazy with Khabib in the middle of the octagon. And then if they ever come a time where they have to fight, there's just so much history built up. And I think that it just explodes. So for Chandler to be in the co-main event, it puts him in a perfect spot. And Dan Hooker too. If I'm Dan Hooker and I win, I'm immediately saying something about McGregor. Whoever wins at 155 pounds on that fight card, you say something about McGregor because guess what? McGregor doesn't have the ability to not respond. He will say something back because he gets going and he just kind of says something. He'll say something and elevate you. So, bro, I'm telling you, there's a level of stardom that comes with fighting on and with this dude that I've never seen. I mean, look at what happened after Khabib. I mean, Khabib went from 2 million followers to like 12 overnight. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm calling him out if I'm Michael Chandler, and I'm glad to be in that spot.
Daniel Cormier and Ariel Helwani and Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar.
It's a very important fight at 145. We presume Alex Volkanovski and Brian Ortega will fight for the belt later on this year. No date attached to that just yet. But hey, let's just say, I don't know, Ortega wins. There's a chance Holloway could get back into the title picture. I don't think he's getting a third crack at Volkanovski. But if Kattar wins, he could very well be next for the winner of that fight, regardless of who wins.
Well, you know what's crazy is like for Max Holloway, he needs Brian Ortega to win, right? Especially holding a victory over him before in the way that he did. But Calvin Kattar, if he beats Max Holloway, he can sit up there and go, I deserve a title shot right now. So I should be in a position to wait, even though he's lost to Zabit, right? Because when is Zabit fighting? Where, we haven't seen Zabit for a long time. It's like you need the momentum that Kattar would carry after a victory over Holloway would be the most important win that him or Zabit would have had over the course of their careers. Because Zabit's biggest win right now is Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar goes and beats a Max Holloway. I don't know how you sit up there and not start to look and think maybe this is the guy that should be next after Brian Ortega.
Ariel Helwani says it was a mistake to move Leon Edwards off December 19.
I have to talk to you about January 20th because January 20th was supposed to be the big one. It was supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards. And of course, we were supposed to get this fight on December 19th. We were supposed to get in the main event, the final main event of the year. It was so perfect. We talked about why it was so perfect. And then, of course, Leon gets COVID. He's good now, so they moved to 20. So good, right? Midweek card right before Conor. Ooh, great. Everyone's talking about Fight Island, the return, blah, blah. Then, of course, Khamzat has complications due to COVID. Okay, he's over it, but he's got complications. And now they put Leon on ice, DC. It was a mistake. It was a mistake not to have Khamzat fight on December 19th, clearly. And I'm here to say it was a mistake not to keep Leon on this card. He asked for Magny. He asked for Chiesa. They're the new main event. Give this guy anyone. I don't care. Give him Carlos Condit after he wins or Matt Brown after he wins. Leon Edwards should be fighting. This bugs me. He should be in the main event on January 20th. Don't wait. The guy hasn't fought since July of 2019, for God's sakes.
It does suck for Leon. It does suck for Leon that he doesn't get to fight. Obviously he was willing to step up. But the reality is, it was so difficult to get a fight for Chimaev, and it was so difficult to schedule those guys that they got it. And I feel like going away from it just makes it feels like it would just create a whole nother logjam, right? In terms of who's gonna fight this Chimaev. And now, Ariel, the complications from COVID, they're real, right? Because I had it, and I know
I'm not doubting that at all. I'm just saying
I know you're not, but Sam, I know how difficult it is for him to train after shorter breath. It's hard to do what you're supposed to do. But the reality is, I do agree. I wish Leon was fighting, but I just think that, man, it's such a big fight for Khamzat. It's a big fight for Leon, and it just answers a lot of questions on both sides. I would like for Leon, though, if he is able to beat Chimaev, to know that he's fighting for the belt next. That's the only worry that I have in regards to that, is that he goes and he beats Chimaev, someone that, if you look at the rankings, he's supposed to win, that it doesn't guarantee him a title shot at 9 wins in a row. But if Chimaev wins, now you know what you got, right? If he can get past, you know what you have. So I think it's just too important to move away from. And, you know, you don't know what's going to happen for Leon on the front end. You don't know what happens for Leon or Khamzat in December in terms of money or financial compensation. You don't know what they did in order to allow for these guys to push back, because usually you will get some money from the UFC. They just don't publicize it.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more interesting MMA news.